the first, let's understand the reference first. The light source is coming from this direction, creating beautiful shadows here. There are two types of shadows now because it's been 8 weeks that we have been painting oil colors, and usually we don't do a lot of work in the shadow shapes, but from now we'll concentrate on shadows equally the way we concentrate on the lighter areas. So here on the drapery, I'll be focusing on drapery more. There is this one shadow which is really dark, then this is the second shadow which is transparent in nature. That means I can see the cloth underneath and still it's in shadow. And similarly these types of shadows are distributed here. Then we have the shadow of the object falling on the drapery and the shadow of the drapery falling on the background. So when we look at your reference, first all the shadow shapes are of same value. So you need to now divide. This is the shadow which is far in the back, and the background color. Here the background color plays a very important role. So for example, I have a red object and the background or the foreground is of yellow color, and the shadow is being on the falling on the yellow surface. So it will have some yellow in it, right? It will have some local color of the area where the shadow is falling. I hope I'm clear in explaining that. So similarly, the local color of the ball was white, then there was shadow falling, thus the white plus the shadow color, they make together a lighter value, a lighter bluer color. Also the shadows, if the light is warm, the shadows would be always cooler. So that's why you can see a lot of blue influence in the shadow. Secondly, here when we talk about the drapery, this shadow, the color of the cloth is light and it is leaning towards grey, greenish grey I would say. So when we see the color wheel, the opposite of greenish grey is violet or magenta or a pinkish blue color. So in this shadow shape, it won't be black, but it will be, we don't use black for shadows. Shadows are never black in nature. So what color exactly you need is the same local color, this grey color which is the drapery color, and the drapery is in shadow. So to make the drapery a bit darker, we'll add some blue and some pinks in it to make the shadow color. Similarly for this area, the shadow is there, but at the same time there is some reflective light. That's why the shadow has turned from darker bluish pink to lighter this value but duller in nature. So you need to mix a similar color. It's dark from the bottom, but as it comes down it is becoming transparent. It is the drapery color with a very touch brownish bluish color, right? So similarly all the shadows. Now let's see the transition. So one side of the shadow shape, this is a hard shadow side, whereas here this side, this edge of the shadow is not very hard, it's slowly merging into the lighter area. Similarly here you can see one side is hard and the other side is slowly merging into the lighter area. That is what we need to show. Feel the cloth. So it's very soft in nature. Thus all the brush marks, all the merging, everything will be very soft in terms of the drapery. Whereas when we are painting an apple, we know that it's hard, so is the pottery, thus harder edges is fine. But when we are painting drapery, it's all about soft edges. So you need to soften your edges also. And because there is yellow light falling on a grey drapery, so the drapery will have a touch greenish effect. So grey plus yellow will give you a greenish colors. We need that color here. If you like, you can redo the assignment, redo the just drapery part. You don't have to render the apple, and follow the instructions of the shadow shapes, the different values and different color of the shadow shapes, and then apply the middle tone, softly blend in the shadow color with the middle tone, and then add some lighter values and then blend it too. So you need everything to be softly blended together. And when I see your apple, I think the values of apple is fine. It's just that this is not white, the light is yellow. So this is a white, it has white, but it also has a touch of yellow in it, the highlight portion. So it's not pure white, it has to be yellowish white. And similarly for this, you can see the beautiful transition from the form shadow towards the lighter area. So that is missing here. There's no form shadow, there is shadow, but the form shadow is missing. Thus there is no transition. If the form shadow here on the apple, you have added the form shadow, that is why it is giving form to the entire apple. So similarly, you need to add the form shadow here. Thank you for submitting the assignment.